Hey everybody, Juba from Cigcola Labs. Today we're going to take a look at our most recent experiment number 3 called Subs for Slots. Now, I really enjoyed this one. It was really fun. It was a little more on the risky side because we did use a mini slot machine. This slot machine is more of a novelty. It's not actually a slot machine that you would find in a casino or something. But I was a little nervous walking around with this thing downtown. I did attach it to a cart and walked through downtown with it, just meeting people, allowing them to spin. The same thing. Subscribe to spin. Um, you're going to see later on in the video there was a couple police that were watching, but they didn't really care. They didn't really mind. I even asked them if they were coming for me, but nothing came of it. It's just after a while, I was, surrounded. Later on my way home, I went back to Metrotown, like my first stomping grounds for experiment number 1, and there were a lot of kids playing the slot machine, and I didn't feel super comfortable about that. And that's one of my lessons learned is, audiences are very important as to where these activations take place. This is obviously a activation geared towards nightlife downtown after 8 9 p.m, maybe on the Granville Street strip where people are going out and clubbing. And the only reason why I kind of hesitated is because you're dealing with drunk people or people on the under the influence, and it could be a little bit difficult to actually get people in line, and you know things happen, right? In the daytime, it's just more, I guess, for lack of a better word, safe. But that's something that I will keep in mind because I did cut this one short. We still got around 18 to 20 subscribers, which is our average for each activation. It was still good. Like, we still walked around. We got a lot of great reactions, which we'll see now and we'll talk about. It's just the learning and experience of time and place. That's exactly what I went through this time. After a little while, I was getting a little bit of not dirty looks, but just a little bit of like, what is this guy doing with the slot machine with like teenagers playing it? I don't want to be the one who's introducing people to slot machines. That's not really what I'm trying to do here. But with adults, consenting adults, it was totally fine. It was totally cool. Sorry, you can hear a crow out of my window, but it was totally cool. And we're going to watch some of this footage, and it was really fun, funny, interesting, and I think there will be time to try this again. So let's go through it today, right? So right off the bat, this was on Davie Street. Davie and what was it? Was it Davie? Um, yeah, it was Davie Street, I believe, at the bottom of Davie Street by English Bay. Let's say English Bay. I came across this bar where people were playing, and I decided to make this intro.
Yeah. Too many.
Oh, you won! So she won. Yeah! And then here you go. You have the entire outdoor patio clapping and having a good time. This woman pulled the first one. She came in. She rubbed the top of the machine. She was really energetic, really fun, really excited. And all of these people sitting in the patio were having a great time. They were watching. They were getting really into it. They were asking me questions. I was explaining what I'm doing. And it went off really well. So I learned right away that groups of people who are kind of just relaxing with a drink, not really food. Like, you don't want to be in someone's face when they're trying to like eat a steak or something. It just doesn't make sense, right? They're not going to really reach across and pull a lever. They might, but with a drink is much easier. It's a loose environment. Everyone's in the sun. They're having a good time. It's late afternoon, and it was a really great place to be able to pitch the idea. And it went from I'm not really interested to the entire bar, including the bartender playing. He came out to check what was going on. He heard the ringing. He pulled the lever. I didn't get it on camera. He won as well. He won like 50 cents, and it was really fun. So this is the demographic that works. The area really works, obviously, where people are just having, a drink and sitting back and letting loose. So that's something to remember for the future. Amazing. Welcome to Cigcola Labs, Experiments in Attention. This is how we started. So this is the machine itself, and what's really cool about this machine is it takes quarters, and then you can pull the lever. And here at the bottom, you can see that there are payouts. The most it would actually be was around $2.50. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. You'd have to line them up like you would a slot machine, and it was a nice buy. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. I actually bought two from the same person, and these are like vintage, made in Japan. Really awesome pieces of hardware. And I just strapped it to a cart, and I started my day walking. I started at the bottom of Georgia, where there's this bike rental shop, and I thought people would be there renting the bikes. There's always a line, so I said, let's start somewhere heavily populated, and then walk all the way down to the beach. And that's exactly what I did. You're first of the day. I always like it when the first people show up. It's a bit of a confidence booster. You never know how this stuff is going to go. Like, you're literally in public creating these crazy displays to just be like, hey, subscribe and play, subscribe and play. It's a little bit difficult. You're putting yourself out there. It's not the easiest way to get started, but once people walk up right away, and it hadn't even been a minute. I just cracked the coins. I just filled the machine, and they walked over being like, what is this? And I explained it to them, and I said, go ahead and play. And they're like, do I need to do anything? I'm like, no, you just need to subscribe to the channel, take a spin. Amazing. Yeah.
Here it is.
That's it. Go for it.
Okay, perfect.
You didn't get nothing.
You get one spin.
So what's really funny about that is, again, when we did our basketball shot, I noticed that there was a bit of a drop off rate because you didn't sync it, and they're like, oh well, forget that. I felt the same thing with the slot machine, and that happened again. Like, a lot of people signed up, a lot of people did subscribe to the channel, but once they lost, they were like, oh, I don't want to keep subscribed to this. I just did it so I could subscribe. Later on during the day, I let them spin twice, and that gave a little more like unity and a little more trust in what I was doing. And it also opened up for conversation. We could have a discussion about what I was doing. Everybody seemed very positive about it, but this was something that I learned is like, it can't just be a one-time one and done. It needs to have a little bit of flavor to it. And you have the whole day, right? There's no rush to get the subscribers. Sometimes in my mind, I'm thinking I need as many subscribers as possible, but that's really not it. Like, you're out there again, you're putting yourself out there, and you're walking around, you're doing a major brand campaign as well. You have Cigcola Labs written down the side of the cart. You have people walking around looking at you, looking at me, like looking who's doing this kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. So something to keep in mind for the future as well is that take time, let the brand get out there as time develops. Like, this is going to, here you go, like, you have the branding on the side. You have Cigcola Labs in big letters. Over time, people are going to recognize what's going on. They'll be like, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. Like, I know that guy, or that guy was at Metrotown, or that guy was downtown, and last time he had a basketball, and this time he has a casino cart. Like, this is how you build a brand, right? You start from and what we're trying to do is start from grassroots. So we're starting from very grassroots, very little funding, very little is going into this financially. It's more about time. So something for me to remember is just take my time, walk around and let people see, and let people be curious and point and take photos and wonder what's going on, because over time, brand recognition is a real thing where people will go up to you and just be like, oh, I saw you last time, but I didn't, and I've gotten some of that walking around now in my neighborhood. Like, some people are like, oh, you were the guy at Metrotown, or in comments on YouTube, oh yeah, this guy was there and he was doing that. When's the next one? This is so cool. I got a really nice comment about, this is such a great way to bring back advertising to a physical uh, interaction versus all the digital stuff that we're used to all the time. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing. So thought for me is just take your time, walk around. Don't think about how many subscribers you're getting. Don't put pressure on yourself. Just let it be. Sometimes they'll go well, and sometimes they won't. And this one was a little slower, and that's okay. It still ended up getting what I wanted it to get, right? And it gives me ideas for the future. So let's go back to where we were.
You didn't get nothing. You get 1 spin. If you leave your email, you get 3.
So
That's it. Yeah, pull it.
interesting group of people here.
You didn't win. Sorry. You guys show me you subscribe. There you go.
So again, like going after subscribers, and which is cool, but a lot of drop off rate because they didn't win. And what was really interesting about this group was it was a group of high school students who had built a table on the street on Davie Street as well, and they were trying to raise money for a basketball tournament, and they had pops for sale and waters for sale, and here I come with this cart in a casino, slot machine on it, and I'm like, guys, like this is what you need, and we had this really great interaction, and I was just kind of sharing my knowledge with them and passing it on to others who are doing the same thing, is like challenge people as they walk by. I guarantee you, if you had two waters for $2 or two waters for $1.50, if you get this coin in this bucket, something like that, you're going to have a lot of people stopping to actually play, and then you can tell them what you're there for. People don't read signs all the time. There's signs everywhere. Are they really going to read your sign and stop and then engage with you? Like, you need to engage them. You need to pull them into your world, and flashy things make people's eyes go a certain way. Music, a speakerphone, something out of the ordinary, like a big plush toy of like an alligator that you haven't seen before that talks or has bright eyes. Parroting, right? Like a parrot, getting peacocking, getting big and feathers and lights, and these types of things attract people. So we had a really good exchange there, and I let them play the game, of course, and we had a discussion about how to attract people. But I do feel like these guys dropped off quite a bit because nobody won anything. So that kind of sucked.
Nice try. You got 1 bag of money.
I like to gamble.
You like to gamble.
I liked this guy a lot. He was really fun. He stopped me. He's like, "Hey, hold on a second. What is this?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's a slot machine on a cart." He's like, "Okay." And then I said, "What? Why'd you stop?" He's like, "I like to gamble." And then I said, "Well, this isn't gambling." And this is what was going in the back of my mind. I was really wondering, like, can I get in trouble for this? Because money was being dispersed. It wasn't clear that it wasn't taking any money. Some people tried to put in coins. Obviously, I wasn't doing that. It was just for the subscriber. And I did, I did my research on this, and technically it's not really allowed. Like, you have to it has to be a puzzle, it has to be a game. So I didn't have a preliminary game like uh, solve this equation and then you can spin. It was literally subscribe to spin. So there was a medium of exchange, and that's something that kind of deterred me from moving on forward, unless it's like a very contained zone, or I can play with that uh, you know uh, solve this math equation and then go forward, right? So something to think about. But this guy was great, and we had a great interaction. I believe his wife or girlfriend or friend is around the area, and then this is where the police in. So let me just play the whole clip.
Okay, but this isn't gambling because you didn't even give anything except your subscription.
Yeah, but who knows what that comes with?
Absolutely.
That's a gamble in itself.
I like your attitude.
Just a quick note. People say the best stuff. They have the most interesting outlooks on life, and you're out there in a totally very raw way. Like, you're interacting with this person. I think I got this guy's email, but I don't know if I'm going to see him again, or if he's going to respond to my email, or if he talked about this later on, or what. It was just, we're passing by, right? We're strangers, and you learn so much from what everyone else is doing and how they show up and what their demeanor is like and the words they use. And it was really good. I really enjoyed this interaction. And later on, you'll see he's actually finally asking. He's like, "What is this for?" When I took his email, I thought that was really funny. And then we talked to the cops.
Do you want to play?
I like watching.
Sure. Ooh, no dice. You want to go again? You leave your
So there you go.
email.
You got to leave your email. So after a while, I was learning that people were becoming unfulfilled when they pulled and they spun and they didn't win. So I was like, okay, well, if you leave your email, now we're talking, we can do something else. And he did leave his email, and that was something that I started adding throughout the rest of the day. Just to mention that back here is the cop car, and I hadn't noticed them yet. And, when I did notice them, we had our own interaction, and I thought they were going to come and say, hey, what is this slot machine? Again, you want to go out and, for future reference, if I'm doing these things, I'm going to make sure that there's no questionable items in it. It's just not worth it. Until we get like a dedicated zone, we can do this, and maybe I'll reach out to like a restaurant or a bar where we can actually kind of do this in the side, which would be much more probably lucrative as well. But let's keep going.
Okay. Where do I do that?
There. Leave it. I got it back.
What is this?
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm starting.
As we were talking about before, the Cigcola Labs, like brand recognition, I had a pad. I would show the pad up. I would let people look at it. Like, people can scan if they want, if they just get curious, like, what is this person doing? It doesn't always have to be an interaction. It was funny that the woman in the back started chanting, do it, and play again. That's really cool. If there were more people around, I think that this could have gotten a bigger buzz.
An advertising agency of the cops. they're like, can you do that? So yeah, they're like, can you do that?
So that's when we started noticing the police were watching, and we were wondering like if they were going to come out and say something about this machine on the cart. There was like a little bit of like a market hanging in the back, and that's why I chose this location. I thought there'd be more people, and more conspicuous, but it wasn't. It was totally open, and they were just watching from afar, which turned out to be really funny.
Yeah, you definitely can. Do you guys want to play? Are you coming for me? Okay, do you want to play? All right.
So I had a feeling that maybe they were going to come and, question me. And what I did was just, I broke the ice before they came up looking, and then I had to look like all, guilty if they wanted to, cause a thing with it. And I'm just like, hey, do you guys want to play? Right there, they knew it was a game. It was just fun. It wasn't, I'm not here trying to scam people for money. I can explain to them, hey, it's an advertising agency. And doing these videos also is evidence that all of this is for a cause that we've been talking about. If you've been following the channel, that's what we're doing. We're building this concept from scratch. I say like, oh, I'm starting an advertising agency from scratch, but we really don't know what this is going to turn into. It's going to continue as it is, building upon ideas and concepts. And in the future, like, people might want to collaborate with us, or people might want to just play along, or I'm thinking about, creating some sort of like treasure hunt game, or, a collective game where we can just put all these ideas into something, and it could turn out to be like an experience game. Like, we don't know yet what it's going to be. So that's just me thinking on the fly and figuring out like what to say, what to do in situations. And that was a really funny one, the police, right? And those two really enjoyed this interaction. It was cool. I do have his email, and I think he's just going to follow along because he was really into it, and we had a good laugh after. And that's what it's about, right? So sometimes you can get 100 subscribers, but it only takes one or two to really become fans who talk about you and share your stuff, and be an actual follower, which immediately can increase your following because it's word of mouth. It's like, hey, did you watch this show? You should really watch this show. That's how you can really get the ball rolling.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. Yeah, you're already here.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Thank you.
That couple was really funny. Like, they were staring at the machine, looking at the machine. What is this machine? What are you doing? And they're just asking me all these questions. I'm like, why don't you play? And they're like, oh, no. I'm like, but you're already here. You already asked the questions. And they're like, no, thank you. I just thought their demeanor was really funny, but they were curious about what was going on. This was in front of a cactus club too. I walked in front of the whole patio and asked who wants to play, and they kind of looked at me weird, which is funny because now you get looked at like, kind of, what the hell is that? But in the future, it's, whoa, that's the thing. That's the thing. Let's go play. And we're going to get there one day. And whoever's following, that's where we're headed. Entire group of bros sitting on the bench, eating their like shawarma plates, and they played. They loved it. I put my camera down because, there was food everywhere, and I couldn't really film it as much as I want to, but got all of them to play, and it was great. And they had a great time, and they really enjoyed it. And it just goes to show that, people will stop what they're doing if they're truly interested, because it's fun, right? It's interesting. The sun was hitting the slot machine, so it was gleaming everywhere, catching everyone's eye. It was really cool.
Let's do it. Right in between the meal too. I can bring it closer so you don't have to get up. Banger.
Come on.
Oh, two money bags. You don't. You guys want to play? All you gotta do is subscribe.
So this person actually ends up winning, and he was really cool about it. We had a great conversation. We were talking. I was walking along the path on the beach, as you can see behind. There's the sand and the water downtown, and he was asking me about it. And we just had a really good interaction. Then he ends up winning, and because he was winning, a whole bunch of other people flocked towards it, and everybody's looking. And that's something that maybe I need to think about moving forward is sound. Like if I have activation going on, like there could be something, I play a sound and people will look, and they'll look at this thing and they'll be like, what's that, right? Using senses to capture people, not just sight, not just my voice, not just their feeling, like their body and their existence. Let's find a way to actually activate those senses so that they come to us.
Channel. Oh!
Yeah.
Yes! Yes! Good job, man.
You could see this lady in the back here. She turned around and she stared at what was going on because of the lights and the sound, and whether she heard a slot machine or not, it was just something out of the ordinary where she turned her entire body to look at what was going on. So something to remember.
Awesome. All you gotta do is subscribe to the
This group of people came right away, right when they heard the slot machine. They came and they wanted to play, and they were asking questions, and it was just as simple as that. And here in the back as well, like around on the grass, you're going to see in a little bit, there were people who were also interested because they were watching and they saw what was going on here in this grassy knoll. And this was like near to the end of my day before I couldn't really find anybody else. Like this was the busy spot, but I like to, do laps. But this is
YouTube channel, and then you can spin it. If you subscribe to the channel, you get 1 spin. If you leave your email for our email list, you get 3 spins, proving that you don't have to do very much. Like this is a janitor's cart that I go.
Yeah, like people asking about it and just giving the pitch, right? The pitch has become very natural now. This is what I'm doing. This is what you need to do to play. This is how you play, and that's it. Like let's do it. It's a really fleeting experience, a really quick experience to have this person. I'm not lingering. I'm not trying to get in your zone. I'm not asking you for anything. All I do is ask you to subscribe to the channel. What I meant by I'm not asking for anything, I'm not asking you for any like personal information. I'm not asking for money or like give me your LinkedIn and all this weird stuff. No, subscribe to the channel. You can unsubscribe anytime. Take a look at what we're doing and play. Like have a good time. Just do something out of the ordinary. Experiments and attention. That's what we're doing.
Gone on Facebook Marketplace. Go for it. Spin it. Good luck. Buen suerte. Yeah. Nice try. Nice. Oh, you won.
I went back to this clip at the beginning just because how interesting it was, going from people who didn't win to this woman who did win, and she's super excited. And I just want you to look and see like the difference, or not the difference, even just the flow between the day. It does go in ups and downs, and it ebbs and flows, and it's not always a bunch of people like
you want to buy. Yeah,
it's not always a bunch of people. Sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes it's empty, and it's a personal thing. It's a personal push for me also to remember doing these videos, just getting better at the craft, better at explaining it, better at sharing the insights that I'm learning, so that when this channel starts to grow and when people are watching, if you're watching right now, you can learn from me and get inspired and work on things that make sense to you, because I think this is a really interesting way to go about advertising. I think it's an interesting way of starting a brand. I think it's an interesting way of building into something that's going to have hopefully one day hundreds if not thousands of people playing at once. And it's good to start small. I'm learning a lot from the experience around me, and there's a lot of pressure, like it's pretty tough putting yourself out there, and you do it anyway, and you get over any doubts you may have or insecurities you may have, and you just go for it and you just be yourself. You have a good time, you keep a happy smile, and you keep people engaged and show them that, there's good things happening and there's interest to be had, experiments and attention. There's attention to give, and that's what I'm capturing as I'm capturing people's attention through these experiments, which have cost very little. Yes, they're time consuming doing all these videos and things, but it's worth it because later on down the road, we're going to be able to look at all of these examples and learn from each single one.
Amazing. Amazing. You have one more spin.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Loves the top of the machine. How great. So yeah, that was experiment number 3, subs for slots. Again, a little bit more of a risky endeavor, but it was cool. I still have the machine. I think I'm going to post up in a place that makes a little more sense for the audience age demographic. I really don't want to be showing children or kids, slot machines. I think this is more reserved for adults, maybe a nightlife district or patios or something. Vancouver is a little difficult to find pockets of people, but with the FIFA coming up and with electronic music festivals coming up, there's a lot of concerts coming up. There's going to be places to come and play this machine. And as we get further along, maybe it's not going to be a janitor's card. It's going to be a little something more professional and better looking, because that does make a difference, right? But right now we embrace the janitor's card. We have fun with the card. We paint it. We write on it. We prove that we're starting from very small. That's part of the point of this entire experiment. So thanks for tuning in. There'll be clips about this. I'll cut them up so we can really dissect some of the learnings from today, and keep your eyes out for the next one. All right. Cheers.